Straight ahead on 12 News Weekend. A newly remodeled place in Plymouth that helps young people heal from addiction.
We don't know exactly why, but it's happening and we need to respond.
Then new leadership that's helping students in New Hope jumpstart their school year. But first, deal approved. Brooklyn Park agrees to tax incentives to attract a Fortune 500 company. 12 News Weekend starts right now. It's full steam ahead for an Illinois medical company's planned move to Brooklyn Park.
Baxter Healthcare promises to bring dozens of high-paying jobs to Brooklyn Park. But to do that, the company wants $2 million in tax incentives to remodel a vacant industrial building. Brooklyn Park has agreed to that plan despite some concerns from council members. Positioned along Highway 610 sits the site of Baxter Healthcare. There's not much activity at the building just yet, and there hasn't been since 2009, but that should be changing soon.
This has got to be a win-win situation for us. I mean, bringing in all these high-tech jobs, you know, it's not entry-level positions they're bringing in.
Council member Bob Mehta is referring to a tax rebate plan he and the city council approved this week that would make the building fully operational.
It is going to help bring in smaller businesses and more restaurants and more jobs and that kind of thing.
That's the hope, at least, but it comes with one glaring question.
Are we giving away the farm just to get them to be here because they're a large corporation?
The plan the council approved gives Baxter more than $1.8 million in tax assistance. In return, the company plans to provide 190 high-paying jobs in an area that city officials call important.
We look for opportunities that are going to be good assets for the community and bring jobs to the community to help with our tax base.
According to City Development Manager Kim Berggren, the tax incentives for Baxter made sense.
And there's only a few users that would come in and reactivate such a facility. And when Baxter became interested in the project, the city and the state were both willing to consider incentives to get them to reactivate the facility because it is such a key building for the community.
A key building with not much around it at the moment, but Councilmember Mehta expects that to be temporary.
I have questions about it. It's just, unfortunately, it's the way of the world. It's the way things are right now, that the large corporations, to get them to come in, because once they're here, then the smaller businesses will come in.
Well, Baxter makes medical devices, pharmaceuticals, and biotechnology products. The company says it will have about 60 jobs available over the course of the next year and about 190 jobs over a period of 10 years. Well, young adults in the Northwest Metro have a new facility to get treatment for substance abuse.
The Hazelden Center for Youth in Plymouth has remodeled and expanded its building. Reporter Sonia Goen shows us how the improvements will help teens.
Inherently, young people who are addicted, when they come to treatment, don't feel good about themselves and they don't feel good about their situation. And we need a facility that gives them that self-esteem back. We need to instill a sense of dignity, a sense of self-worth. And when they come to this facility and they know that they're cared for, it sends a message to them very strongly that they're valuable and their lives are worthwhile.
This is not your typical recovery center.
This building embodies really the hopes and dreams of all the families who've come through here.
The $30 million renovation has a lot of bells and whistles.
This is a pretty state-of-the-art gym.
The gym has basketball courts and a rock climbing wall.
Things that you would consider normal kids do for fun, we use therapeutically because it helps them form relationships that are healthy.
Some of that therapy includes using symbolism. One example is here, where clients try to climb to new heights.
You don't always have a perspective of where you're going. Someone who's farther away knows what obstacles you're facing. Someone else is holding or leveraging your harness so you don't fall.
The center also includes a workout room.
Not only do kids get sober here, they gain muscle, they lose weight. I mean, they look so much more healthy when they leave treatment than when they start most of the time.
Here at Hazelden, they're using music as a therapy tool.
They play their own music, they'll write songs in here. Makes them believe in their own capabilities.
Young patients also get to express themselves through art.
There's a lot of things about, masks they wear to hide from people and, walls they build.
The facility is also expanding to 105 beds, allowing them to treat more patients.
A large part of the renovation is geared towards females. Hazelden says they're seeing more young women who are suffering from substance abuse.
That college-educated, bright young women are getting addicted at an increasing rate, and we need to respond to the demand.
As more young people struggle with addiction, the demand for facilities like Hazelden increases.
And you can't have enough facilities because addiction is a rampant problem in any society.
In Plymouth, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
A grand opening for the newly expanded Hazelden Treatment Center will be held on September 20th.
A Brooklyn Park Navy technician is taking part in one final mission at sea. Charles Hystad is in Norfolk, Virginia for a mission aboard the brand new USS Minnesota Submarine. Hystad is in charge of sonar equipment and is one of 15 officers on the sub. For Hystad, this is the pinnacle moment of a Navy career that has spanned 2 decades.
Been a lot of submarines, and this is the most impressive submarine that I've been on. Just the amount of capabilities that she has is amazing.
Hystad is a 1991 graduate of Park Center High School, and military service is in the family's DNA. His brother served in Iraq, his father was in Vietnam, and both his grandfathers fought in World War II.
In our weekend review, school got underway with extra security in some districts. In the Anoka-Hennepin district, 27 elementary schools now have a new electronic visitor tracking system. A parent or visitor must first swipe a driver's license or ID to enter the school. School officials say security was beefed up at middle schools and high schools years ago, but the Sandy Hook shootings in Connecticut prompted a closer look at elementary schools.
They talk about doing things like locking exterior doors, which we've always done, but we've left our front door open. Now we're locking our front door. We've created a vestibule where, if you think of an apartment building where you have to go in and swipe a driver's license and be buzzed into the building, that's what we've created now.
Anoka-Hennepin's security upgrades cost more than $1 million. The district shifted money away from carpet and window replacement. Meanwhile, the Hopkins School District has purchased a building to expand Meadowbrook Elementary School. Hopkins bought the Minneapolis Crisis Nursery building, which is moving to South Minneapolis. Meadowbrook's increasing enrollment led to the purchase decision. And the Brooklyn Park City Council is studying the financial future of the city's 2 golf courses. Edinburgh USA and Brooklyn Golf Course are projected to lose a combined $2 million over the next 5 years. A consultant listed options to raise revenue, including making improvements to each of the courses to attract more golfers. Coming up on 12 News Weekend, the new burst of energy filling the halls of Cooper High School.
Then later in sports, Champlin Park's volleyball team is looking to make a big step forward this season.
But first, a forecast in need of rain. Your AccuWeather forecast does show a chance for thunderstorms on Monday.
It's not yoga, but it is an exercise in concentration. At Parkbrook Elementary School in Brooklyn Park, 9 classrooms are using stability balls instead of chairs. The Parkbrook principal says it helps children improve their focus.
We sometimes look at a kid who is sitting perfectly still, hands folded, and we think they're really paying attention. They might not be. But if they're using their core muscles and they are moving somewhat, they can focus.
The stability balls were made possible as part of a $10,000 grant from Allina Healthcare. Well, as thousands of students enter their second week of school, principals and teachers are trying to make sure the year gets started on the right foot.
In the Robbinsdale School District, there's new leadership at Cooper High School, but the focus remains the same. Here's reporter Alexander Renslow.
In the halls of Cooper High School,
let's go, guys.
There's a new hawk.
Moving with the purpose.
Leading the mission.
Moving with the purpose.
Meet Principal Christina Hester.
If you need anything, you let me know. All right. We want to make this the best senior year. All right.
A former Gopher women's assistant basketball coach turned educator in the 1990s.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hester believes school leadership begins with caring.
A lot of times, especially at this age, kids are put off and adults can't hear them. And I believe my job is to listen and figure out how can I help you.
Our new principal, Ms. Hester, everybody.
She's new, yet familiar to the Cooper community, serving as a student teacher and coach here in 1993, and later as assistant principal in 2009.
Move with the purpose, let's go.
Yet as principal, she now sets the tone.
I think a principal has a bigger role to play because it's boss of the whole school, boss of all the kids, boss of the students, the teachers, even the staff. You gotta make sure everything goes right, and that's how you get a good school.
I guess what makes a good principal is just a person who cares about all their students and really wants to help them learn and improve and achieve their goals.
You guys got less than 30 seconds, let's go, come on.
Hester comes in with high expectations for her students, picking up where former principal Mike Favor left off.
To me, the challenge is how do we now move to that next level? It's kind of like going from good to great.
There are challenges at Cooper High School. More than 50% of the students qualify for free and reduced lunch, but it's also a school where nearly 90% of last year's seniors applied for higher education.
The student council.
Oh, that's right.
Kids are accepting the challenge of, I can be somebody, I'm going to be somebody, and this is a place in which I think students are going to accelerate.
Thank you, Alex. Hester comes back to the Robbinsdale district after she was a principal for several years at Skyview Middle School in the East Metro. Coming up, something in Plymouth that's 7 feet tall and has a steely demeanor.
But first, the race is on at a cross-country meet hosted by the Hopkins Royals. That's coming up in sports with Jay Wilcox. Welcome back. Jay Wilcox joins us now with sports, and everyone thinks about football starting up this time of year, but it's not just about football. We have volleyball going on too, don't we?
Yeah, and a lot of pretty good teams in this area too, and here's another one that's trying to make that move up and become one of those real good teams. Champlin Park's volleyball team is really hoping to make some noise in the Northwest Suburban Conference this fall. The Rebels entered this weekend's Marshall tournament with a 2-0 mark, 1-0 in conference matches. They have 6 returners from a team that tied for 7th in the NWSC in 2012. They like the way things are coming together early.
I honestly think we've been doing so well at the beginning of the season so far. I think that we've set a lot of goals for ourselves, some pretty high ones, and I think that the preseason has just been about getting comfortable with each other. And
a little bit farther along, it's my 3rd year, and a little bit farther along maybe as a program as we thought we might be, as well as the varsity team's a little bit farther along at this time of year. There's always plenty of things as you start at the beginning of the season to work on, but with having a number of returners and some players coming back that have been in the program for a couple of years, as well as playing some off-season stuff, we're a little farther along than maybe we expected, so very excited about that.
In addition to veteran players like Maria Sampson, Callie Zevnik, and Brenna Walton, the Rebels also have one of the top up-and-coming talents in freshman setter Sydney Hilly. They think this could be a team that pushes toward the top teams in the Northwest Suburban.
Probably the biggest things, we want to try to beat Blaine, beat Osseo. Those are probably our biggest opponents right there, and we mostly just want to get probably top 3 in the conference.
I just think we need to work together and work hard at practice, and then just keep a motivation going to know that we can compete with those teams, and then keep going from there.
The Rebels host Maple Grove on Tuesday. Wayzata's volleyball team was in a fairly unusual spot as the underdog on their home court this week. That's because defending Class 3A state champion Lakeville North paid a visit. And a lot of firepower in this one. Wayzata's in white. Mackenzie Greschel sets left side to Mariah Halverson for the kill in the first game. Lakeville North gets the offense going. Christy Nazari pounds it home for a kill here, and the Panthers take an 8-4 lead. Wayzata keeps it close in that opening set. They scramble to get to the ball, and Kate Berg delivers a kill down the line, but the Trojans fall 25-20. Lakeville North controls most of the second set. Wayzata looking to score, but Sammy Flatham gets up for a perfectly timed block here. It's 11-5 at that time, and the Panthers win 25-16. Wayzata gets out to a good start in the third. The set goes to Berg, and she comes through with a kill as the Trojans try to stay alive in this match. But Lakeville North ends up winning in 3 straight. Wayzata's also in the Marshall tournament this weekend before playing at North St. Paul Monday and at Hopkins on Tuesday. Jim Rovn and Ed Bauman coached a combined 50 years of cross-country running in the Hopkins School District. The 8th annual Invitational, named after the 2 now retired coaches, took place at Galewoods Farm in Minneapolis for the 17-team meet. In the boys' race, Absa Ali of Richfield is the runaway winner in a time of 16 minutes, 14 seconds. Hopkins' Jack Henschel is the top local. A nice finishing kick gets him 4th place. Another nice finishing sprint here by Armstrong's Nathan Comer on the left. The Falcons take 2nd place as a team on the boys. In the girls' race, Shakopee freshman Tess Miskin is the winner in 15 minutes, 0.7 seconds. The top local finisher is Armstrong's Hannah Rudd in 26th place. Here's a look at the final team scores. Eden Prairie is the runaway winner in the boys' meet, well ahead of runner-up Armstrong. Host Hopkins places 3rd and Wilmer 4th. Park Center is 16th with Champlin Park 17th. Eden Prairie and Chanhassen tie for the girls' title. Lakeville South is 3rd. Armstrong is the best finish of the local schools, coming in 8th. Hopkins is 13th, Park Center 14th, and Champlin Park 16th. It looks like a pretty balanced group of teams in Northwest Suburban Conference boys soccer this fall. Park Center pays a visit to Armstrong this week on a warm evening. Park Center's Eddie Sadie drills a free kick here, and it does not miss by much, going just over the top of the Armstrong net. Armstrong's Colin Witkowski aims for the top corner. Brenton Brocky just gets a piece of it for the Pirates. Late in the first half, the Pirates get some offense. Alex Zolnowski with a crossing pass to Sam Moses with a shot and goal. The Pirates leading it 1-0 at halftime. Armstrong makes a push to try and tie it up, and this one will deflect off of two different defenders and go over the goalkeeper before Sadie saves the day for Park Center, stopping it right at the goal line. Park Center wins it 1-0. The Pirates girls team visited Champlin Park. The Pirates get on the board first. Hannah Schaub with a nice crossing pass. Jill Rosby pops it in for a 1-0 lead. Later in the first half, the Rebels keeper gets caught out of the net a bit. Rosby steps around her and scores again, and it's 2-0 Park Center, and that's the final, 2-0 Pirates. And we're already pretty deep into some of these seasons, believe it or not, even though it still feels like it's very early.
All right. Well, thank you, Jay.
You bet.
Well, coming up, a new attraction at Plymouth City Hall to honor volunteers.
Plus, a New Hope photographer is traveling the state working on a new book. See what he's looking for up next.
A New Hope photographer is visiting some unusual places to find stories for a new book.
Doug Oman has done 14 books on things like schoolhouses and churches of Minnesota, but lately he's been visiting cemeteries, and a lot of them. Oman says he's looking for lost history, people who've made an impact in Minnesota, but they've been forgotten.
After someone's gone, a generation later, they're forgotten. And that's kind of the unfortunate part of being human. My desire is to bring those stories back to the public awareness and say, there's so much more in Minnesota historically.
Here's one example. He points to the grave of a 1-month-old child buried back in 1876. Her parents planted a tree that continues to grow there. There's a picture. There's no date yet for a book release, but Oman will be speaking to the Golden Valley Historical Society next week. Finally, it's 7 feet tall, made of steel, and has a whole lot of spirit, but not Superman here.
Not Superman. We're referring to a sculpture that will be installed Wednesday at Plymouth City Hall. This is our first look at it now. The sculpture is called As One. It honors the spirit of volunteerism and commemorates the 20th anniversary of Plymouth's volunteer program. The sculpture was done by an artist from Des Moines, Iowa. Last year, more than 2,300 people volunteered in Plymouth for work that includes police reserves and even data management. And nice to be honoring the volunteers like that.
So we could say they are supermen in their own right because they do a lot of good work.
Doing good work. Yeah, I wish I could be honored with a statue for volunteer work.
There you go. Maybe someday. Keep going. That's all the news we have for now, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Have a nice weekend, and we'll see you again Monday at 4 o'clock.